Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and today on the Hermitcraft server, I'm continuing with my home building exercise. Now, I haven't worked out exactly the way that I want all of this to come together. I liked the idea of having the wraparound porch, although I'm realizing this is going to make the house perfectly square, which is generally an undesirable, house situation. I'm also thinking maybe the porch shouldn't wrap entirely around the house. That might have been a little bit too far. And so, I don't know, I'm just kind of loosely reviewing that. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start actually putting in some of the wood for the house here. Whoops. And we're just going to use birchwood right now because it is cheap and easy to break. And I was thinking that if I wanted to do it in quartz later, I'll upgrade it. But so I think we're going to want the porch to have a roof that's at least 3 up, right? So let's go ahead and just actually kind of do the basic framing of the house. So before we actually put in any walls, we'll go ahead and get the core concept in place. 1, 2, 3. And I gotta say, I was watching that Cubs game last night. Very exciting. The congratulations to Cubs fan 135 and anyone else in the Chicagoland area, also known as Illinois. And I hope you guys had a good party, stayed safe. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and put some lights up here. Now, I'm thinking, are you just underneath there, zombie? Yeah, you shouldn't be too much of a threat. Let's see, if we go ahead and I wanted to put some posts that would, support the roof. I wanted to have, well, actually, if I want the roof to be for, whoa, uh-oh. This is a immediately different situation. There we go. Took care of that, resolved it. Now, if we wanted the roof to be that high up, then I think that I actually want to have that start a little bit earlier. Probably should have brought more lumber to make the ladder with, but you know what? That's okay, because right now we're just going to go through and first fix these stairs here, because they're not going to go far enough. I think your stairs go too far. I think your stairs don't go far enough. You know, let's see. Boom. So yeah, we'll go ahead and bring this along like this here. And let's see what else is going on. I'm working on the official announcement for my Patreon book club, which our first book is going to be the Constellation Games by Leonard Richardson. He is a very clever guy who I've actually had on my YouTube channel a few times. I have not consulted him about running this book club because this is not something that is sponsored or anything by him. This is just me saying, oh, you know who has a book that's good that not a lot of people have read? Leonard. And a lot of the other books are not, in fact, almost all of the other books. I would be amazed if I had a second book featured in the book club in the first year by somebody I personally know. You know, I'm thinking maybe this is a good place right here where we have these stairs to actually disrupt the, So maybe these stairs don't lead up to the porch. Maybe the house... Maybe we have the house... yeah, we have the stairs come up here and lead around that way to the porch, but we also, have an entrance to the house here. So instead of having the basement here, this is where we kind of break up the blocks a little bit. And False Symmetry is joined. Howdy, False. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to figure out flooring for this. So right now, though, we're just kind of framing the house, figuring out the broad strokes of what it'll look like. So we'll worry about details later. But yeah, so if you want to join, anybody who donates above $5 on Patreon or GameWisp will get an invite to my supporter Discord channel, where you will be able to talk about whatever you want, including books once a month in a more formal kind of setting. So there is that. Other books that I'm planning on discussing in the future include Andre Carrington's Speculative Blackness, which is about African American portrayals in science fiction and about fandom and the African American experience. And I wasn't expecting, since it's a very heavily academic book, I wasn't expecting it to be as fun as it was when I started reading it, but it's actually got a ton of interesting stuff in there about the kind of original sci-fi fandoms back at the turn of the 20th century on. So if you're interested in the history of science fiction fandom, it would be relevant to you, even if you are not like somebody who's like, oh, I'm super interested in the African American experience. Well, if you're interested in sci-fi, there's something for you. Now, Constellation Games, a book about a game reviewer shortly after first contact with aliens, I get it. You guys are probably thinking, okay, so is this all going to be science fiction? Probably not. I'm also looking at, I want to do Don Quixote by Cervantes, because I've never actually read it, and would love to discuss it and read it with some folks. And that would be that's what this is for. This is for discussing and reading books, as well as Joseph Heller, the guy who wrote Catch 22, has actually a really interesting book that I read a long time ago and I wanted to revisit, called God Knows, which is from the point of view of King David of Israel on his deathbed, like a deathbed memoir type thing. And it's weird, but really interesting. Is this going to be too small a space here? No, I think this space would still be usable. So the idea is like, you'd come up the porch here. Oh, that's weird how that turned out. I might have to do something with that. Let's go ahead and just block that up real quick. Oh, of course that breaks that element. Okay, well, it's like magic. Well, is this one still going to be... Yeah, that one's still going to be weird, though, because, of course, it is. Maybe what I should do is actually have the house come out a little bit here. That's actually probably it. I should have the house come out here, and then... So then that's flush with that. So I'm not going to take down the other framing elements because there's no, like, strong incentive to. But I could, just kind of something worth noting. So, let's go ahead and start working on our overhang here. What I was thinking, for the roof, although, I'm actually going to need to go up one more block, I think, maybe, to get that to happen. And, so let's see, other books, Don Quixote by Cervantes. I'm thinking of, at some point, I want to do a lot of science fiction, unfortunately, but that's not fun for everybody. So some other kind of funny and light stuff mixed with more serious academic stuff should be, I don't want to pin myself in too tight in terms of, like, promising what the books are going to be, because that will change over time. Like, if a new book comes out, I'll want to be able to do that one, not right away necessarily, but at some point. So what's the best way to actually have this go down there? If I hit... Oh, there, that's how we do that. I don't think that's going to work twice. I think I need to actually now set up, like, a fence post or something here that comes out. Yes, because this is clearly the best way to do this. Nope, that was not actually the best way to do that at all. That was the completely wrong way to do that. So we're going to try this, then. I think we want it at the top. There we are. Okay, cool. And so now I'm going to have to figure out this curvature in a minute, but we don't need to worry about that quite yet. So if I was actually going to have posts that came down here, unfortunately, the way that the porch is right now, you can't place anything on it without it being problematic because of the slabs. I guess I could double slab the porch, but that seems like it's going to be... I think I'd rather just have the stone slabs where we've got the, where we got the posts. Oh. Ouch. Okay, so I learned something there today. That is not going to work either. So, we're going to have to lower this entire thing, I think. So back up the stairs we go. And yeah, I just anyway, sorry, back to the book thing. I like the idea of hanging out with people and talking about books, and I was thinking, like, what's something cool that I could do with a small group of viewers, and that kind of seems like a good way to kind of connect with some of y'all. But obviously, dang it. Nope, that's not how that works. Okay, so, oh, I just did that wrong there. That makes sense. So then I just put this one here. Dang it. Now that I've got my own recording space, it's just kind of slightly more important for me to start kind of promoting the Patreon stuff, because it would be wonderful to recoup that cost. And I don't want to set a bad example for aspiring YouTubers out there. Like, I spent about 5 years trying to record as best I could out of my home, and that would have been entirely practical. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, you could never be a real YouTuber if you didn't have a studio or something. No, the real reason that I had to get a space isn't because, oh, it's worth hundreds of dollars to a month to improve my, like, this is going to make my YouTube career or break it. It's because my wife is doing a PhD in biophysics, and so we're kind of more spending hundreds of dollars a month to like make her life easier, so it's easier for her to pursue her PhD, than we're spending hundreds of dollars a month to make it easier for me to pursue my YouTube dream. Spending hundreds of dollars a month to pursue your YouTube dream is, I'm going to say, objectively questionable. You really have to think about these things case by case. And we looked at a lot of things case by case for our family, and we kind of just determined that we would not. We looked at like possibly renting a larger apartment, but the issue there was that we were going to have to move all of our stuff. And with my wife in grad school, like, it was just kind of one of those things where we were running out of space in our home, and we needed to do something different. And this was kind of a good way to reclaim some of that space without forcing her to deal with all of the problems of a move, like having to install, all your paintings and wall hooks and what do you call those? Like, just all the things that go into like making a house a home again after you get a new, slightly larger box. And it was going to be in the part of town we live in, which has to be near the school to avoid buying a second car and near where I work or whatever. Just kind of like, it was going to be significant expense. It would have been probably more expensive for us to add a third bedroom, like even just month to month, versus me getting a separate office space to record in. So once again, like, this is to help me defray some costs on this, but never feel bad if you cannot give or anything like that. I'm not here to guilt anybody. We are doing fine. Like, we had plenty of expenses last month. We had to replace $1,200 worth of stuff in our car. It kind of hit 75,000 miles, and the battery, tires, and brakes all needed to be replaced at once. And you know what? That was okay because I have a good job, and we planned well financially in the past. And so, these are things where I don't want anyone to be burdened with feeling like, oh no, Joe's such a great YouTuber, or, well, honestly, that's not a burden to think that. That's a joy. You're welcome. But I don't want you to feel like you'd be letting me down in any way if you were unable to help out. Like, that is not your job. I'm wondering if maybe this one should kind of come out a little bit here. This is a weird one. Like, I don't do a lot of roof work, but I think that this is how I would do that. And yeah, this is vaguely okay. So the porch will come up here. We'll have a door here on like maybe a double door. Or maybe we'll have a door here. I'm not sure. So you have like quick barn access from like a mud room. You'd have like the front hall foyer up here. Let's go ahead and, I don't know what I want to use for flooring yet. So maybe I shouldn't use birch for all of everything. But I don't know, core concept is it's coming along. Let's go ahead and chug some carrots real quick. But yeah, anyway, anyone who wants to help out, you're helping out. You're pitching in, and it's appreciated. But it's not like I'm gonna stop or once our lease is up on the, like, when we get to the point where we have to decide whether to renew the lease on the office, we are definitely gonna consider, like, is this paying for itself in terms of YouTube and this, is the stuff I make in the office justifying the cost of the office? But we're also going to look at it in terms of, like, how much better is my wife's life not having to deal with all this stuff in her living room, and, concerns like that are a little bit more subtle. So, I'm going to be making YouTube videos no matter what. Don't worry, guys. But this space should allow me to make more videos more frequently, which I'm excited about. So, whoops, and of course now falling off this is going to prevent me from making more roofs more frequently. Okay, so I think that looks moderately alright in terms of house construction. I'm really just kind of eyeballing a lot of this. Maybe I should even... I don't know. It's just so hard to say with stuff like this, you know, like really until you actually start like putting stuff in the rooms. Like if I start building the house one room at a time, it'll like never get done. Or that's something you do when you're building out of a cave, like in my other base. But here I want to be like building out of, or I want to be constructing upward. And I'm going to have all this wonderful basement space down here that I'm looking forward to, so that'll be nice. Let's see, according to OBS, I've been going for 17 minutes. Okay, so, oh, hey, Enderman. Welcome, Mumbos. Okay, here we go. Get a little more of this in. I should probably figure out where I want to put the windows. That would actually be a good concern right now. I'm thinking I want to have the windows be like 3 tall. Although since the doors are limited to 2 tall, sometimes it looks kind of weird. But I don't know. And do I really want to have this stairs right here? I think I do. But like, so let's say if these stairs center on the front door, then we could have a window here. Then kind of chop this out. Whoops. I don't want to make it too symmetrical because I know that Mr. Vintage Beef will complain at me. Not that he ever comes out this way. This is pretty... this actually might be the closest base outside of the town to... Oh, don't have stairs out of this bottom part yet. Okay, gonna need to make some of those. Well, this is a basement. I don't know where I want to put the stairs in this building yet. I was gonna say, maybe I'll put them in the middle of the house. So, like, when you come in the front door... Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think I want the stairs, like, the main stairs to be, like, out toward the front door. So, that would mean that, like, if the stairs at the level above me started here, then these would go, like, here. But the problem with that is that now I've got stairs that lead up to a floor that I have not constructed yet. In fact, is that even going to be... That might be too high. So, yeah. That is potentially an issue. No. Oh, wait, that is right. Okay. So, like, if we had, like, so maybe a kitchen back here with basement access. Front door comes in, leads to foyer. I like this big picture window, but I feel like maybe I should have, like, maybe 2 smaller windows here to offset the bigger windows, like, there and there, and also to make the door look less weird. I don't remember why I had this. This is going for right now. But it's looking all right. Okay, so let's see. Where were we? So to sum all of this up, you can help me out with the monthly rent on my new office at patreon.com/JoeHills and gamewisp.com/JoeHillsTSD. One of the benefits for doing this sort of thing is going to be access to a Discord chat where we are going to have a monthly book club. First book is Constellation Games by Leonard Richardson, and he probably will be surprised to hear that. Unless, well, like if he's watching this right now, hi Leonard. If your wife is nearby, hi Sumana. Yeah, this is not something where I'm getting any sort of kickback or anything like that, so don't worry. It's, in fact, the links I have that I'm going to post in the chat, or not chat, in the blog post are non-affiliate links. Because at the point where you're, like, paying to be part of the Patreon, you don't really need to pay to be, well, I mean, you do have to buy books, but you don't, I'm not, like, looking for a kickback on that. I'm just trying to defray some expenses here. And if you have nothing to give, then no worries. That is not a problem for me. You know, I'm trying to make my videos kind of like, I'm going to refine this idea more, but, like, I'm kind of thinking about my videos like parade floats. Like, it's something that, it's a labor of love. It's not something, like, you don't get into the parade float construction industry to like make a ton of money as a parade float expert or whatever. Like, or parades are a type of art, or parade floats are a type of artwork that are like intended to be enjoyed by anyone who happens to be walking by or wants to come see the parade. Like, they're not like super elite or elitist, you know. So like, I'm making these videos like like a parade float. They're for anyone and everybody who wants to, you know, swing by and check them out. And this is a celebration. Like, I make these things from a joyful place, and I want people to be joyful when they think about it. I don't want you to have to worry about my money situation. Believe me, I got that handled. Wouldn't sign a lease if I didn't. But, you know, at the same time, it never hurt. You know, I feel like it's kind of selfish of me as a father and husband to not at least give you guys the option to throw in some cash, because as much as I would love to be like, oh, my art is totally pure, I don't need money from anybody, it doesn't hurt, you know, like, you know, being able to take my wife out to dinner an extra time or two occasionally, or also traveling to conventions gets expensive fast, and so being able to use some of the Patreon or YouTube ad revenue in order to travel to conventions is actually really helpful for me in that way. So, yeah, just in short, you guys are awesome. I need to talk more about parade floats at a later date because they are awesome and there's something there. I don't know exactly what, but I think it's important. And wow, we got a lot done on this house today. Let's go check this out, like from out here in the field. So far from what's real. Do 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 do. Okay, yeah, those windows might be too big. I'm looking at those windows and they're a little large. That but on the whole, like, this is coming together. We got our crops, we got our field, we got our farmhouse, we got our barn. I'm gonna add a second story to the farmhouse and do interiors or whatever in the next episode. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all are the best, and I want to encourage you every day to, you know, get out there and make your own stuff too, you know. But anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.